Good morning. Today I'm going to take those homemade tortilla shells we just made, and I'm going to use those to make some quesadillas. I've got some leftover steak here. We had a barbecue a couple days ago and there was a little bit of steak left over, so I thought I'm going to make that stretch a little bit further. So I'm going to make some quesadillas today. We're going to use the steak cut thin. We're going to use some asparagus, some red pepper, and some onion. And then I've got some peppercorn cheese I'm going to use. Going to grate that up. So I'm going to start by dicing up the vegetables so that I can get those frying. So we'll start with our asparagus here. This is such, I mean, you can use any vegetables you have. If you've got leftover vegetables that you don't even need to cook, you can throw them in. Quesadillas you can make with just about anything. You can use any meat or have vegetarian. They're just so versatile. And that's why I wanted to have these homemade tortillas, because I love quesadillas. So we've got our asparagus chopped, and I'm going to take some of this red pepper and we'll dice that up small. I mean, if you like it larger, you can just dice it whatever size you like. I don't like it too big when they're in quesadillas because I like them to fry up fairly quickly. So we're going to dice this up. Now, if you really like the Mexican flavor, you can always use cilantro. I'm just going to do basic salt and pepper on this one. I'm not going to use any fancy cheeses or anything, just a regular peppercorn cheese. But you can make it much more Mexican style by seasonings and the way you season your meat if you want to have meat on them. Okay, so we've got our red pepper and our asparagus. And I'll just chop up some onion here. And these are so good. Like you can make your vegetables, you can fry your vegetables in the morning. Say you wanted it for dinner and your kids were at school. Fry everything up in the morning, stick it in the fridge in a little container. Pre-make your tortilla shells if you like homemade, as I do. And then you can just pull it all together for a quick dinner at night and serve it with a salad. And I mean, it's a very quick, fast dinner, and it's very inexpensive. You can use ground beef. If you had leftover ground beef from frying it up for some other dish, you could use chicken. You can pretty much use whatever you want and season it however you want. Okay, we've got our veggies. So I'm just going to put a little bit of canola oil in the frying pan here. Turn it on. I don't want too much. And I'm going to use that same frying pan with whatever oil is left in there after I stir fry the vegetables to cook the quesadillas in, to heat them up. So we'll take our veggies. Toss them in here. And while those veggies are cooking, I'm going to take this steak and I'm going to slice it up really thin. You don't want it too chunky and then you get a great big mouthful of meat. So nice to have it cut real thin. That's how we like it. I'm going to switch knives here. That one's not doing the trick the way I like it. Much better. Now this steak has a little bit of sinew in it, and I'm going to cut that out because in a quesadilla you don't want any surprises like a mouthful of fat or sinew. So we'll leave that. Let's check on those vegetables. Give them a little stir. And what I do is anytime I have leftover meat like this with gristled or fat, I save it for my grand dog. Put it in a little plastic baggie and throw it in the freezer, and then when she comes over, she gets a treat from Grandma. Now I'm probably not going to use all this. It's going to be a little bit too much for 2.5 quesadillas, which is what I'm going to make. I think that's probably enough. So I'll probably use this little piece of steak that's left. I'll use that in, maybe if I make up some rice and stir fry veggies, I'll just dice it up and toss a little bit in a stir fry, just for a little flavor. So we're getting these veggies cooked up here. Now I don't want to overcook them so that they're really mushy. It's nice that they have still a little bit of crunch to them. Put this aside here. And now that I got my meat cut, I'm going to slice some little tomatoes. I have a variety of tomatoes that were on sale. I just bought what was on for the best price. So I've got some of these, just a variety of the cherry tomatoes and just a whole bunch of different kinds, different colors. So I'm going to slice some of those up that we can throw in our quesadilla also. But I'm not going to cook those. I'm not going to fry them. I'll just add them after, before we add our cheese to the top. Oh, I can smell that onion cooking, and it smells pretty amazing. This won't take long at all. Now if you have, like depending on what vegetables you have, if you, in the fridge, or you want, like I said, you can use leftover vegetables, but if you have mushrooms and you like mushrooms, you can toss those in. You can pretty much use any vegetable inside it. Everything kind of goes, and then it just depends how you want to flavor it. Some people, like I said, some people even like to use taco seasoning. There's so many different ways you can do it. This one I'm going to just do like plain, and with just my salt and pepper, but I've been known to make quesadillas with all kinds of different seasonings. And when I have fresh cilantro from the garden, I use that and do more the Mexican style. So I'm going to just shred up some of this cheese while we're waiting for the vegetables. And again, you can use any kind of cheese. Like the one I usually use the most is cheddar, but I happen to have some of these cheeses left for when I bought that variety cheese pack and accidentally spent way more than I thought it was worth. But it's been nice to have the different kinds of cheeses. Okay, there, give this another little stir. They're getting nice and brown, the onions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my tortilla shells. Have a little sip of my coffee. Yum. Okay. So we'll take our bottom one here. And I'm going to put the meat on. Just layer it in a thin layer. And I'm going to throw on some tomatoes, a thin layer of tomatoes. And then we're going to take our veggies here, which are looking pretty good. And I'm going to take them out and put them in a little bowl. There we go. I'm going to turn this down and take a spoon here, toss some of these veggies on our meat and tomatoes. Yum, it smells so good. And then we'll top it with a little bit of cheese. Or a lot of cheese, depending how you like it. We'll put a little salt and pepper. And we'll top it off with another tortilla shell. And we're going to put it in the frying pan and give it a little fry. Just till the veggies kind of, or the meat and the cheese melts on the meat and warms up the tomatoes, and we're good to go. This one's small, so I think I'm going to use these two that are closer in size. And we'll do the same thing. And again, these are great with chicken or pork, really anything that you like. And it's a great way to use up leftovers. Our veggies, our tomatoes. There we go. Let's check on this. You don't want to leave it too long or you'll have a really good burnt one. I'll try and flip this. This is where it gets a little tricky sometimes. I've been known to lose a little of the insides when I do the flip. Okay. Now I have the cheese side down, so hopefully that cheese will melt up real nice. And there we go. And then I've got another little one here. I'm just going to cut in half. Just make a small one. So we're just going to fry this up for a few minutes till everything kind of warms up and melts together. Then we will get a plate, just set them. And when I eat them, I like to serve them with homemade salsa and also sour cream. Delicious combination. But you can serve them with guacamole, whatever you want, really. Let's see if that cheese is, oh, it's starting to melt. Good. Good, good, good. All right. And maybe I'll just start on this last one here while I'm waiting. Just going to cut this one. Oof. It's going to be really tricky with this one. I did not get my circle on this one at all. All right, so we'll put our meat. Just a little bit that's left, the tomatoes. Our veggies. Good thing I hadn't put that one in yet. I forgot my cheese. Goodness gracious. How can you have a quesadilla without cheese? There we are. Here's something was missing. There we go. That's better. I have a little bit of veggies left here. I don't think, I might just eat those on the side. And then we'll do our salt and pepper. There, we've got a little tiny one, which would be great for one of the grandkids if they were here. Okay, let's check this one out. Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Let's throw this meat in here. It's all starting to stick together because the cheese is melted nicely. Give it another couple seconds and then pull that one out. And if you're messy like me, you want to have that plate real close, otherwise you're going to end up with some on the floor. Ooh, looks good. All right, so there's number one. A little bit of veggie here. Going to take that out so that doesn't burn. And we'll take in the second one here. So there's our first one with a little sour cream and salsa. Perfect. Perfect. The other thing I like about this is you're only using one pan, which is great for cleanup. I'm all about the less dishes, the better. Okay. Pan's good and hot now, so I'm going to have to be more careful. I don't leave it very long. I'll throw this in with the last little quesadilla and have that on the side. I don't like wasting anything. And it's probably going to become more and more important as the shortages continue to grow and as prices continue to rise, that we really don't waste anything. Too many of us have, well, we've had some really, really good years where we haven't really had to worry about stuff. But now that there's so many shortages, it's important that we do use up well what we have. All right, let's give this a flip. With a wink and a prayer. Cheese is melting. Yum, 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 yum. Do a little bit of cleanup while I'm waiting. I'm one of those cooks that hates to have a huge amount of mess afterwards. I like to clean as I go. It makes everything so much quicker when you're done eating and you just want to have everything cleared away. All right, let me try this one. Let's see how it's looking. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay, now we're cooking with gas here. While that's cooking, I'm just gonna go grab some salsa. This one is done. Put that there. And we'll throw in our last one here. And I'm going to put these little veggies in there too, just to eat alongside. And while that's cooking, I'm going to cut this one. We're going to try it with a little bit of salsa just to see how it tastes. This is salsa we made from our tomatoes this year. Not much left of this can. We opened it up about a week ago and I'm going through it like crazy. Okay, I am going to try this, see if I can do it without making a huge mess. So good. So good. I don't have any sour cream right now, but I'll be adding that to the plate too. Well, I hope some of you will try this recipe. And again, like I said, you can mix in any different kind of meat, different vegetables, use what you have. If you have leftovers, I mean, you can pretty much throw any vegetable in there. The only thing I probably wouldn't put in there is like maybe potatoes. But give it a try. See if you like it, and if you do try it, put your comments down below and let me know how you like it, how it turned out. Have a great day.